We took their whips and their ships. Blood flowed in the Atlantic, and it wasn't all ours. We carried it on. We carried it on. Fed Missy arsenic apple pies, stole the axes from the shed, went and chopped off master's head. We ran, we fought, we organized a railroad, an underground railroad. We carried it on. I say we carried it on. In newspapers, in meetings, in arguments and street fights, we carried it on. In tales told to children, in chants and cantatas, in poems and blues songs and saxophone screams, we carried it on. In classrooms, in churches, in courtrooms, in prisons, we carried it on. Our soapboxes and picket lines, welfare lines, unemployment lines, our lives on the line, we carried it on. I say we carried it on. In sit-ins and pray-ins and march-ins and die-ins, we carried it on. We carried it on. On cold Missouri midnights, pitting shotguns against lynch mobs, on burning Brooklyn streets, pitting rocks against rifles, we carried it on, we carried it on, we carried it on. Against water hoses and bulldogs, against nightsticks and bullets, against tanks and tear gas, needles and nooses, bombs and birth control, we carried it on. In Selma and San Juan, Mozambique, Mississippi, in Brazil, and in Boston, we carried it on. Through the lies and the sellouts, the mistakes and the madness, through pain and hunger and frustration, I say we carried it on. Carried on the tradition, carried a strong tradition, carried a proud tradition, carried a black tradition, carry it on. Pass it down to the children, pass it down, carry it on now, carry it on. Until freedom. Until freedom.